Hi, sixth graders. I'm so sorry this one's going to be late. I had the busiest day ever with tons of meetings, and I feel like my eyes are going to start bleeding from too much screen time. And I just wanted to remind you that while we're working hard online and stuff, it's so important to get out and enjoy some sunshine. So I'm going to read to you from my deck and kind of enjoy some sunshine. So anyway, I hope you're enjoying Percy Jackson so far. It's really cool because I feel like I can definitely visualize a movie while I'm reading it, and I can relate to some of the characters, and I also like kind of the fantasy of it all and kind of an escape from reality, I guess. So anyway, we're on chapter 16, which is we take a zebra to Vegas. The war god was waiting for us in the diner parking lot. Well, well, he said, you didn't get yourself killed. You knew it was a trap, I said. Aries gave me a wicked grin. Bet that crippled blacksmith was surprised when he netted a couple of stupid kids, huh? You did look good on TV, though. I shoved his shield at him. You're a jerk. Annabeth and Grover caught their breath. Aries grabbed the shield and spun it in the air like a pizza dough. It changed form, melting into a bulletproof vest. He slung it across his back. See that truck over there? And he pointed to an 18-wheeler parked across the street from the diner. That's your ride. Take it straight to LA with one stop in Vegas. The 18-wheeler had a sign on the back, which I could read only because it was reverse printed white on black, a good combination for my dyslexia. Kindness International, Humane Zoo Transport. Warning, live wild animals. You're kidding, I said. Aries snapped his fingers, and the back door of the truck unlatched. Free ride west, punk. Stop complaining. And here's a little something for doing the job. He slung a blue nylon backpack off of the handlebars and tossed it to me. Inside were fresh clothes for all of us, $20 in cash, a pouch full of golden drachmas, and a bag of double-stuffed Oreos. I said, I don't want your lousy... Thank you, Lord Aries, Grover interrupted, giving me his best red alert warning. Thank you very much. I gritted my teeth. It was probably a deadly insult to refuse something from a god, but I didn't want anything that Aries had even touched. Reluctantly, I slung the backpack over my shoulder. I knew my anger was being caused by the war god's presence, but I was still itching to punch him in the nose. He reminded me of every bully that I had ever even faced. Nancy Bobofit, Clarice, Smelly Gabe, sarcastic teachers, every jerk who had ever called me stupid in school or laughed at me when I had gotten expelled. I looked at the diner, which only had a couple of customers now. The waitress who had served us dinner was watching nervously out the window, like she was afraid that Aries might actually hurt us. She dragged the fry cook out from the kitchen to watch also, and then she said something to him. He nodded, and he held up a little disposable camera and snapped a picture of us. Great, I thought. We'll make the papers again tomorrow. I imagined the headline, 12-year-old outlaw beats up defenseless biker. You owe me one more thing, I told Aries, trying to keep my voice level. You promised me information about my mom. You sure you can handle that news? And then he kick-started his motorcycle. She's not dead. The ground seemed to spin underneath me. What do you mean? What do you mean? I mean, she was taken away from the Minotaur before she could die. She was turned into a shower of gold, right? That's metamorphosis, not death. She's being kept somewhere. Kept? Why? You need to study more war, punk. Hostages. You take somebody to control somebody else. Nobody's controlling me. He laughed. Oh yeah? See you around, kid. I balled up my fists. You're pretty smug, Lord Aries, for a guy who runs from Cupid statues. Behind his sunglasses, I could see fire glowing. I felt a hot wind in my hair. We'll meet again, Percy Jackson. Next time you're in a fight, watch your back. He revved up his Harley loud and then roared off down Delancey Street. Annabeth said, that was not smart, Percy. I don't care. You don't want a god as your enemy. Trust me, especially not that god. Hey guys, Grover said. I hate to interrupt, but... He pointed toward the diner. At the register, the last two customers were paying their check, and two men in identical black coveralls with a white logo on their backs that matched the one on the Kindness International truck. If we're taking the Zoo Express, Grover said, we need to hurry. I didn't like it, but we had no better option. Besides, I had seen enough of Denver. We ran across the street and we climbed in the back of a big rig, closing the doors behind us. The first thing that hit me was the smell. It was like the world's biggest pan of kitty litter. The trailer was dark inside until I uncapped Acamulskos. The blade cast a faint bronze light over every sad scene. Sitting in a row of filthy, tiny metal cages were three of the most pathetic zoo animals that I had ever seen: a zebra, a male albino lion, and some sort of a weird antelope thing that I didn't know the name for. Someone had thrown the lion a sack of turnips, which he obviously didn't want to eat, and the zebra and the antelope had each gotten a styrofoam tray of hamburger meat. The zebra's mane was matted with chewing gum, like someone had been spitting on it in their spare time. The antelope had a stupid silver birthday balloon tied to one of his horns that read, "Over the hill." Apparently nobody wanted to get close enough to the lion to mess with him, but the poor thing was pacing around on soiled blankets in a space that was way too small for him, panting from the stuffy heat of the trailer. He had flies buzzing all around his pink eyes, and his ribs were showing through his white fur. "This is kindness," Grover yelled. "Humane zoo transport?" He probably would have gone right back outside to beat up those truckers with his reed pipes, and I would have helped him. But just then, the truck's engine roared to life, and the trailer started shaking, and we were forced to sit down or fall down. We huddled together in the corner of some millweed feed sacks, trying to ignore the smell and the heat and the flies. Grover talked to the animals in a series of goat bleats, and they just stared at him sadly. Annabeth was in favor of breaking the cages and freeing them right on the spot, but I pointed out it wouldn't do much good until the truck stopped moving. Besides, I had a feeling we might look a lot better to the lion than those turnips did. I found a water jug and I refilled their bowls, and then I used the acamulcos to drag the mismatched food out of their cages. I gave the meat to the lion and the turnips to the zebra and the antelope. Grover calmed the antelope down while Annabeth used her knife to cut the balloon off of his horn. She wanted to cut the gum out of the zebra's mane too, but we decided that would be too risky with the truck bumping around. We told Grover to promise the animals that we would help them more in the morning, and then we settled in for the night. Grover curled up on a turnip sack, and Annabeth opened our bag of double-stuffed Oreos and nibbled on one half-heartedly. I tried to cheer myself up by concentrating on the fact that we were already halfway to Los Angeles, halfway to our destination. It was only June 14th. The solstice wasn't until the 21st. We would make it in plenty of time. On the other hand, I had no idea what to expect next. The gods kept trying to toy with me. At least Hephaestus had the decency to be honest about it. He'd put up cameras and advertised me as entertainment. But even when the cameras weren't rolling, I had a feeling my quest was being watched somehow. I was a source of amusement for the gods, it seemed. "Hey," Annabeth said. "I'm sorry for freaking out back there at the water park, Percy." "It's okay. She shuddered. "Oh, spiders." "Because of the Arachne story, I guessed. She got turned into a spider for challenging your mom into a weaving contest, right? Do you guys remember when we were reading about that? It seems so long ago now." Annabeth nodded. "Arachne's children have been taking revenge on the children of Athena ever since. If there's a spider within a mile of me, it'll find me. Trust me. I hate the creepy, crawly little things. Anyway, I owe you." "We're a team, remember?" I said. "Besides, Grover did all the fancy flying." I thought he was asleep, but he mumbled from the corner, "I was pretty amazing, wasn't I?" Annabeth and I both laughed. She pulled apart an Oreo and handed me half. In the Iris message, did Luke really say nothing? I munched on my cookie and I thought about how I should answer her. The conversation via Rainbow had bothered me all evening, though. "Luke said that you and him go way back. He also said that Grover would not fail this time, and that nobody would turn into a pine tree." In the dim bronze light of the sword blade, it was hard to read anyone's expressions, and Grover let out a mournful bray. "I should have told you the truth from the beginning," and his voice was trembling. "I thought if you knew what a failure I was, that you wouldn't even want to bring me along. You were the satyr who tried to rescue Talia, the daughter of Zeus." He nodded glumly. "And the other two half-bloods Talia befriended, the ones who got safely to camp?" I looked at Annabeth. "That was you and Luke, wasn't it?" She put down her Oreo uneaten. "Like you said, Percy, a 7-year-old half-blood wouldn't have made it very far alone. Athena guided me toward help. Talia was 12 and Luke was 14. They'd both run away from home, like me. They were happy to take me with them. They were amazing monster fighters, even without any training. We traveled north from Virginia without even having any real plans, fending off monsters for about 2 whole weeks before Grover found us." "I was supposed to escort Talia to camp," he said, sniffling. "Only Talia. I had strict orders from Chiron. Don't do anything that would slow down the rescue. We knew Hades was after her, see, but I couldn't just leave Luke and Annabeth by themselves. I thought I could lead all 3 of them to safety. It was my fault the kindly ones got caught up with us." I froze. I got scared on the way back to camp and I took some few wrong turns. If I had just been a little quicker. Stop that, Annabeth said. No one blames you. Talia didn't blame you either. All right, boys and girls, that's about 10 minutes. That's a good spot for us to end today. All right, have a good Thursday.